What's going on, guys, and welcome back to the Edison Club podcast. I'm your host, Mike, and tonight I am joined by Nick, aka Rail My Dad, Ty,
Yo,
aka Behind the Dual Disc,
What up?
and Cole, aka Cole.
hey,
So, this past weekend in Raleigh, North Carolina, Big Boy Gaming hosted not one, but two pretty large events. So, Saturday was a 2K Edison tournament, and Sunday was a 3v3 3K tournament. So, we're going to kind of go around the table, talk about our experiences, how it went, what we liked, what we didn't like, anything that we would change. So, I always generally like to go last on these. Who wants to volunteer to go first? Tell us all about your weekend.
Cole.
Okay. Well, it was a pretty fun weekend overall. I think even regardless of placing in the tournament, I had a lot of fun with the guys. But
That's what it's mainly about.
The YCS Johnson was definitely a lot of fun.
Yes.
Definitely a different kind of YuGiOh experience.
Yeah, let's start there. I feel kind of bad. I almost forgot about YCS Johnson. Let's start there.
That was the best night.
It was.
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing. I was like, forget BBG was a blast. Don't get me wrong, but YCS Johnson, I think, was like the most fun part of the weekend.
Absolutely. How was your YCS Johnson experience, Cole?
I think I just high rolled. So the way we had it set up, you wagered chips, kind of like Duelist Kingdom style, and I just immediately went against AJTBLS round one and I wagered all my chips and lost. But I mean, I had fun throughout the night. The food was great.
Yeah. So for context, I think his name is Johnson Boss. Pretty sure on like the Discords and Dueling Book.
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
Okay. Great Gladiator Beast player, and he hosted this event at his apartment, but it was in like a conference room. So a big room, big kitchen, lots of tables, like a pool table, a foosball table, an outdoor balcony. And our other friend, Brandon Crank, spent the entire day like cooking like this taco bar, and the food was incredible. Some of the best food I've ever had. And this was just such like a feel good like night. Like you could just meet up and play with anybody that you wanted to play with. And it was just a really fun experience. Probably the funnest pre-tournament thing that I've ever been to.
It honestly felt like you remember like in the old episodes of YuGiOh, like what the night before, like it was like the night before they go to like they compete in like Duelist Kingdom, or like the night before they compete in Battle City, and like they're all like celebrating, like having food and everything. It felt like that.
Yeah. It really did. Yeah, historically, normally like the night before we go to a tournament, we're all kind of just in the hotel room. Some people are testing, some people are knocked out like myself because I go to sleep at 8 o'clock. But this night, my wife was joking with me and she was like, that's probably the craziest night you've ever had. And I was like, you're probably right.
Yeah, I stayed up till 11 o'clock, which is crazy.
You're a bad boy.
I was so bad. Oh my God.
I stayed up till midnight. I think that's probably the latest I've ever been awake.
I don't remember what time I finally fell asleep.
Bro, like, yeah, so that Friday night we get back to the hotel and I have like this little like eye mask thing, like they wear in the cartoons. I put that over me.
There's no shame. I wear one every night.
I love it. I just go to sleep and then I get woken up at like 12 because they had ordered pizza, and I eat pizza. And I was like half asleep, like falling asleep while I was eating this pizza as well.
You know what was the best part of YCS Johnson, I think?
The Johnson?
Well, yeah, of course, Johnson. No, the free play was wicked fun. Like, that was so well organized, the way he did the spreadsheet. You can bet as many chips as you want. The food, like, shout out to Brandon Crank, because that food was amazing, especially the queso. And then they got pizzas, and everybody was having a great time. Trap dust shoot was completely illegal. He made that clear.
Yeah, house rules. No trap dust shoot.
No trap dust shoot. But this motherfucker, Ty. Oh my
God. This is a legendary gamer moment.
He goes, oh, no trap dust shoot? I'll just put in Mind Crush instead. It's almost the same thing. So I face him round 2, I think, and we have 2 or 3 chips wagered. He goes first, sets 2 back row, and I open heavy, and I'm like, ooh, Back row bait. I love that. And my dogs think that I'm talking to somebody. So I heavy him, and he chains Mind Crush, and technically he's going in blind, so he should have no idea what I'm playing. But of course he's my teammate, so he knows I'm playing Machina. He goes, Mind Crush, call Machina Gear Frame. 2 Gear Frame in my hand, my only starter. Everything else was complete ass. So it was just a complete downhill battle, and of course I lost.
I took a roll of the dice. I was like, it can't get much worse than this. So screw it. Mind Crush and call Gear Frame.
It worked.
Yeah, there were no friends at YCS Johnson. People were out in the streets for blood.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
All right, so Cole, tell us about the Saturday tournament. This would have been the 2K event.
2K is actually the tournament at the weekend I probably did the best. I made it the top cut to play and to get the top 8. I finished in 10th, but unfortunately lost to Pro Storm in Game 3 at the last round.
What deck did you play?
Machina Gadget.
Okay, it's kind of become the new signature.
For context, this was a top 12 tournament, so the bottom 4 of top 12 got had to play it out, I think. Or how did it work? The top four.
The bottom
got
8 had
5.
to play it out, and the top 4 got a bye.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah. So unfortunately, just eked out of getting the top there, but I just been trying to push Machina Gadget for a while to see how far it can go.
Yeah,
and I think it did all right for the 2K. It didn't have as much success during the 3v3, but
yeah, and these for context too, like these tournaments were stacked. Like there was nothing was free either day because we just had so many good players. We had like a lot of the members of Team Rod, AJT, Cole previously mentioned Pro Storm was also there. Obviously the Edison Club was there. A few good, well-known players were also there. So like you seldomly got like a free round of the tournament.
No, it was tough. It was so stacked.
Yeah, it really was.
Yeah, this was
I like that aspect as well. It's just like because steel, like it just keeps us sharp. Steel sharpens steel.
I avoided team kills the whole time. Did any of you guys run into each other?
No.
No, I only played the first 2 rounds though.
Luckily, Sam's he's not technically part of the Edison Club, but
no, I still felt bad for beating him.
Been a pain because he's got a really powerful deck.
Yeah. Funny because one of the funniest moments I had was against him at YCS Josh. He had a fortress with a gear frame equipped, and I went Cyber Dragon, and he booked his fortress so I couldn't contact fuse. And then I creature swapped and took his fortress and revealed it to contact fuse for command tech.
Oh my god, he told me about that play. That's insane.
It was the funniest play I did during the weekend for sure. But no, yeah, good times. Who else wants to?
Where did you end up finishing Saturday, Cole? I think you said you lost in like the top 12. Was that right?
Yeah, I got 10th place.
Gotcha. Okay, all right. Who wants to go next?
Ty, you want to do it?
Yeah, since I was Cole's teammate for Sunday, yeah, I might as well go. So yeah, Friday was it was just like a movie. Like it was so fun. It was just like everybody was just getting to do like the whole we had the whole tournament where you like weight your chips and everything. That was fun. The food was phenomenal. Shout out to Brandon Crank for that. And it was just an amazing vibe. Like there was no negativity, like no BS or anything. Everybody was just having fun. It was so dope. And that was the main thing I loved about the whole thing. Everybody was all smiles, all laughs. It was just a fun time.
Yeah, for sure. Friday was just an all around just excellent time.
I think it was because it was invite only. So unless there were a lot of people there. They were in the 20s, right? Between 20 and 30.
I think so, yeah.
I think it was like 20, 25 people or so.
Yeah, maybe. So nobody that, played Macro Stun was invited or anything like that.
Yeah. But,
okay, Ty. Tell us about your 2K experience on Saturday.
Oh man. Okay, so I played for the weekend. I played Diva Hero. Saturday, I would like I'm feeling confident. I'm feeling good. And there was what 7 rounds of Swiss Saturday.
Yep.
Yeah, that sounds right.
So like I go into my first round, and I'm up against Frog Hero. I'm like, okay, we like I know how to navigate this matchup. He just he had the game one. He just had he heavied me, and like he had way too much. He had way too much card advantage. I knew I wasn't gonna be able to like keep up with it, so I just went ahead and scooped game one. Game two, I colossal arm OTK'd him, and then game three, he just has like all of his small guys like nothing he can really like make combos with. He has like Unifrog, Junk Synchron, like just monsters that like Ocean, like just stuff that just doesn't meld well together. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
he's not able to like make anything out of it. And I end up OTKing him. And so I win round one. Round two, I'm on the feature and I'm playing his value. And I win game one, it's fine. And then game two and three, I saw both my Malleys and just wasn't able to come back.
Mm.
And for the rest of the tournament until I dropped, I literally saw double Malley every game three. It was wild. It was
Yeah,
absolutely insane.
that's so tough, dude.
You weren't him.
Literally, and this is the first time it's happened. Like the first, all this time I've played DBO, this is the first time I've ever drawn double Mally this much. So I was like, I was like, we all go through the moments like you get like down after doing real bad after there's so much at stake on like so much prizing online and so much at stake. I went through like that little bit of a depressed moment for a second. And I was like, we're just gonna try again, try harder tomorrow and see how we
I was
do.
trying to gas you up some too.
Yeah, it was just rough just because I like my deck was just performing so well through testing, and then it felt like the deck just gave up on me.
Mm.
It was such a defeating feeling. But Sunday, now I got to preface this story by saying me and Cole had a little bit of an issue keeping a third.
Yep.
Like our initial person, our teammate Austin, he got Austin Wood specifically. Like he got sick, and so we had to scramble to find somebody. So we was gonna go with our friend Glenn. And then we was all geared up until the night before the 3v3, and like he had his own issues that he had to deal with, and he wasn't going to be able to come back. So we're like scrambling like at dinner trying to find somebody, and we ended up finding somebody, and man, I don't know how to say this. It having to scramble to find somebody like, especially you don't have chemistry, like you don't have we don't really know, and we don't really have that kind of like chemistry with like to like know how they play and stuff like that. Like it makes it hard.
It does.
And I'll say if you like, especially if you're teaming with somebody that I'll say that's not as seasoned like at tournament play as me and Cole. I'll say that.
Right.
It made it a little bit more difficult to navigate the rounds. Like it essentially almost felt like a 2v3.
Yeah, a little bit.
Mm.
But I'll give him kudos. He dude tried his best.
Yeah, he showed up when we needed him.
He showed up when we needed him. He listened to our advice. That's
important.
That's all we can really ask for.
Yeah, it's always good when you team someone like we've kind of all had that experience to where your third cancels, so you have to just pick up somebody at the last second. And it's always good. I would much rather take a player who's not quite as good, but they're also receptive, than team with someone that thinks that they're like at the mountaintop, but in reality, like they haven't even started climbing yet. They're just like don't listen to you, whatever. So that's really important as well.
Yeah, when there was a few people that was like gonna be like there were prospects for like VR30 that were like that, and I'm good on that. Like, there was a couple people that was but we in the 3v3 I ended up going like undefeated with Diva Hero. I should have been in prison for how I was like for the stuff the deck was doing to people. I was drawing like a madman, like an absolute madman. Like Future Fusion. I saw D draw Rhoda more than anything. And never saw double Mally in my entire like the entire day.
Hey, that's what you want.
Yeah. And like I don't know how many times I returned from different dimension and killed somebody. It was just it was just wild. Like
you had plot armor on Saturday.
I did. I felt like I felt like a main character on Sunday. Like, dude, I was playing against when we were playing against Frog Slicer's team, Cole. I was playing against the Blackwing guy, and I have him under consecrated light the entire time, and he's like on one. He's got one monster and one back row. I end up he flipped over my Armageddon Knight that I had set, and then I because he mind controlled it, and then he wasn't able to like really convert it into nothing, so I just got it back, and I ended up making a Bryanak. Spun my consecrated light so I could just make the rest of my plays dropping dark arm sun malicious, flipping return from different dimension, just OTKing him for his entire life savings.
I think this weekend I saw more returns flipped and more dads dropped than I ever have any time ever. It was like one time I was just walking down an aisle and I saw 3 returns right next to each other. 3 different decks all flip return at the same time, and I was like, yeah, that card's insane.
Surprisingly, a lot of Thunder King that weekend.
Yes. Yeah. Also a lot of Thunder King.
Also, shout out to Limiter Removal.
Yeah.
For letting me kill a value player that had a Necro Engraved, Gores in hand, and a Grepher on field because I had 23k damage on board.
I'm glad you played it. I want people to believe that card is good.
That card is good. I can't believe people don't play that card.
Well, because they think it's win more, which, I mean, I guess sometimes it is, but I've seen it win games, and if you win games, you can win matches with it.
Yeah, like steals games that you're not supposed to win.
Yeah, like if Fortress gets in for a direct attack, now that direct attack is 5,000.
Yeah. It was funny when I was playing against Machina during my rounds in the 3v3. My opponent brought out double Fortress, and he attacked with one of his fortresses into my monster. He attacks into me, and like I don't know if he wasn't thinking. He attacks and drops Limiter during the battle during battle, not during damage step. I'm just like, okay, banish Necro Gardener.
Yikes.
And there went both of his fortresses. Then he summoned another one, and I flipped Karma Cut and banished all 3.
That's dirty.
Know your sub-step, guys.
Oof. Oof.
So, shout out to Karma Cut this weekend as well.
Oh, yeah. Though I only saw mine once, but it was really good. I got double Treeborn with it.
Anything else you want to add about your 3v3 experience, Ty? Sounds like the deck did what it's supposed to do on Sunday.
Yeah, it overperformed on Sunday. Just shout out to Roto D-Draw.
Yeah, good combo.
And Roll Decree.
Yeah, Decree's also insane. All right, Nick. Tell us about YCS Johnson, the 2K, and the 3v3.
All right, so YCS Johnson, it was just a lot of casual play. Like, people weren't taking it as seriously, even though there was some free prizing, which was really cool. But my round 1 opponent was Pro Storm. I immediately went right for the mountaintop. I was like, well, It's just chips. I didn't pay to enter. Pro Storm, you want a duel? And he's like, sure, let's wager. And he just 2-0'd the shit out of me, obviously. But he was playing Hero Beat, which kind of surprised me because I've only seen him play Christia Sworn and Black Wings. But that was fun, even though I lost. Dude, Johnson was like a total loss for me. I was just trying to have fun, but people were still sacking the shit out of me, and I was like, all right, well, it happens. And then obviously that thing happened with Ty playing Mind Crush. Cole, I played Cole for fun, and he had creature swap with every time I summoned a fortress. He's like, okay, summon Red Gadget, creature swap. I'm like, oh my god, again? He has it every time. So I'm losing my boss monsters left and right to a creature swap. But it was fun. I mean, I lost like a lot of rounds during YCS Johnson, but I wasn't wagering a bunch of chips either. Before I knew it, I turned around and everybody was like, oh, Brandon Combs has like 23 chips right now. He's in first place. I was like, holy shit, how many chips are people wagering against him? But he was going all in. He went totally ham. And I wish he was with us right now on the podcast because he was supposed to be here right now. He could brag about his first night.
Yeah, that's true.
But Saturday was so fun, but my opponents were so stacked against me every time. My round 1 guy, I think he got top 4. My round 6 was Hydro Pump, who won the entire thing, and my round 4 was my round 3 was against Josh Johnson himself, Johnson Boss. So he's a phenomenal GB player, and he's obviously extremely good at the game in general, but I have yet to beat this man. He is so fucking skilled. Like, I don't understand. It doesn't make any sense. And he opens Dust Shoot game 1, of course, puts back my only starter, and then just rips me apart with GBs, as they do. I'm surprised he didn't go on to top either, but my 3 losses were to people that were extremely, extremely good at the game, so I'm not mad about it.
Yeah. Good losses to have.
Yeah, they were good losses to have. I just, I wish I could have gotten a little bit luckier and sacked them a little bit better. I'm happy I at least took Hydro Pump to game 3, so that was fun. And then Sunday, I can't remember every round Sunday. Did we have 5 rounds of Swiss for the 3v3?
Yeah.
Okay, I think I remember 4 of them because my round 1 was against GYBU. And did he end up topping his team?
His team got top 8.
Okay, so his team topped. My round 2 was crazy. It was against Pro Storm, AJT BLS, and their friend Noah. And Pro Storm's in the middle, so we're both player B. He takes game 1, I take game 2, and we finish siding, and we're shuffling up to go to game 3. And my teammate A and my teammate C both had won their matches. So I got so lucky. I dodged a bullet. We didn't even have to go to game 3.
Oh, nice.
I was so relieved. I was like, holy crap. I was clenching my butt so tight for this next one. And then I don't know if it was my next round or if it was the one after that, but I faced Andrew Centeno, who he was playing Hero Frogs. If you guys played him, he was wearing the purple shirt. I think he's got a team. Like he's got the professionally made team shirts, with like your last name on it.
Oh yeah, nice.
One of those types. And he got top 4 with Frog Hero, so obviously he whooped me. He said, oh my god, dude, let me tell you about Thestalos. That card, it needs to be seeing more play, I think. It ripped the Fossil Dyna out of my hand, which was my only out to his board. He goes, Soul Exchange, tribute your set hamster, Thestalos, and rip this card. And he pulls the Dyna out of my hand. I'm like, you gotta be fucking kidding me right now. That was my comeback play. Who else did I play in the 3v3? I'm sure it'll come to me in a minute, but it was just as stacked as day 1. And I'm surprised there were 20 teams too when day 1 was 66 players, I think. So that means day 2 only 6 people dropped. So they could have made 2 more teams. We could have had 22 teams, but it was stacked. It was still extremely fun. I think the best part of the day for me, honestly, besides YCS Johnson, was Saturday between rounds. I was challenging different people to games of GOAT, and I got to play Cam Saunders in 3 matches of GOAT back to back to back. And let me tell you, that guy is so skilled. He draws pot, graceful, duo, Thunder Dragon almost every single game. It's insane. You can ask him. He's like, I am so good. The amount of times I saw him just start with Thunder Dragon and then graceful, I was like, we should just go to the next game. This is insane. But that was really fun. It was a good learning experience too, because that guy's not just good at Edison. He is extremely good at GOAT too.
Yeah, definitely a very well-rounded retro player for sure.
Oh yeah, for sure. But the only pride I can take is I beat him in the Chaos Turbo Mirror match, our first match, which was sick.
Oh, nice.
But
nice.
I kept switching decks. I think I have 7 GOAT decks. So I played with Chaos Turbo and then Granny Bonk, which is Earth Aggro, but with Spy and Grandmarg.
I love that name.
Shout out to Rick Saw. Yeah, that's his deck. He won a PWCQ with it. And then I played him with GOAT Control, with the Leo P. Huncho GOAT Control deck. But I also had like Cyberstein, OTK, some crazy zombie deck. I've got, what else do I have built? There's like 100 of them. Well, there's actually 7. I lied. Yeah, Chaos Control. There's a couple other things I have, but I just have so many decks put together. I needed to challenge people to GOAT decks because I got to get my GOAT games out while I can between rounds. But it was a good time all around. I mean, I didn't end up topping. My team did pretty well in the 3v3. Shout out to Brandon Combs and Sam Kerrigan. Brandon played out of his mind, and he was playing Vayu, and he was just sacking the shit out of people too. And he main decked double Book of Moon and an enemy controller, and he did the same list he played on a Friday night at Johnson's house, and it was just clapping people's cheeks. It was awesome. Sam was on Machina with Geartown and Breakers. I thought that deck was a total meme. I was like, oh, okay, well, it'll be fun. He was destroying people left and right. He's just slapping 3,000 attack, 2,500 attack bodies on board. And he's siding, I think he has like 15 floodgates in the side.
How many deck,
dude?
I saw his side deck Friday because I played him and he destroyed me.
His side deck will cook the shit out of everybody.
I was playing Value for YCS Johnson Friday night, and his side deck was so hateful.
Oh my god, that's all it is.
Iron Wall, triple Consecrated, triple Shadow Mirror. It was like, I have no shot.
every good like meta floodgate you can think of, he showed me his side deck. It was like, here's 6 cards for birds. It was like triple Consecrated, triple Shadow. Here's triple Light Imprisoning for any light deck or high roll like Christia's Horn deck. Triple Imperial Iron Wall for anybody who's bringing in Deep Prison or Bottomless. Triple this, triple. It was just all triples of these crazy floodgates. And I'm sitting there watching him summon Consecrated Light and then summon Thunder King and just start poking. I'm like, holy shit, he's going to win this because he's sitting on floodgates. And it was insane. I mean, he won matches off of it. So shout out to him, and shout out to Brain Control and Limiter Removal, because those also won him our match against the Pro Storms team.
Nice.
So that was
very
cool.
nice.
But yeah, it was such a good time. I hit up Yi Ching after day 1 on Saturday because he went 9-0 or 10-0 or something, or 10-1 on Saturday with Machina with Fiendish Chain again, which he also won a gaming event with. I was like, dude, let me see that list. Let me take a look at that list. It was triple Compulse, triple Fiendish Chain, triple everything. Like triple Hamster, triple.
A lot of 3-ofs.
So consistent, so good. So I copied it and I did that on Sunday. Fiendish Chain was insane, but I just didn't see the rest of the cards I needed. But he said the same thing. Saturday, he clapped everybody's cheeks. Sunday, he goes, dude, I drew dog shit all day. He went like 2-2 or something like that, or 1-3.
Yeah.
The deck just shit out on him. Like, it was so good Saturday and so dog shit on Sunday. So, I mean, that's the nature of the game. But, it was fun either way. It was fun.
I heard he ran into Diva Hero. That's upsetting.
Oh god, did he see you? Did he see you?
Yes, he saw me. All right.
Oh, he didn't know you had plot armor, so that's not fair.
True.
All right, Mike. You tell us about your weekend.
Okay, so let me start out on Friday. So I worked that morning. We left at about 1:30, headed to Raleigh. We get to the hotel. Super nice hotel. Get there and we hang out for a little bit. Then we decide to head to YCS Johnson. So we get there. And the first thing that we do is we go to Josh's apartment. And we're like, it's a really nice apartment. He has a balcony that like overlooks all of like downtown Raleigh. Like you can see the fairgrounds from there. Like you can just see for miles from his balcony. So that was super cool. Then we ended up going to like the conference room, which I previously mentioned had like a huge kitchen, lots of tables, like an exercise room, a pool table, another balcony outside with like a grill. They had made all this food, so like Nick had mentioned earlier, it was like you could wager star chips to play against people. So I started off playing against Mayberry just because we just wanted to play test. So I went all in, wagered all my chips, lost them immediately to him. Played against a few other people that night. Played against Bryce, who actually does the Hamster Raiko Kaias song. It's the outro to the podcast now. Shouts to Bryce. They were on X Sabers. And that matchup is super scary. So let me tell you that when I say that in our game one, I dropped 2 Gores in game 1 and 3 Trigodias in game 1. The weirdest match I've ever played.
Was there a lot of Compulse running around?
A lot of Compulse, Bryanak. Yeah, same thing with the Trag. The way Trag got dropped the 3rd time was I was low enough to where I couldn't JD. I was at 800. So I had to reincarnate back Trag, tribute summon it, make it a level 4, and brain control his full Helm Knight and make Black Rose. So
was Bryce on the new X Saber build from Chicago?
I'm not sure actually. I'm not sure. He might have been, or they might have been. And the thing about it was like it specifically had to be Trigodia because brain control was gone. I may have said I brain controlled it. I did not brain control it. I pitched Necro Gardna and took his full Helm Knight. That was the only way that I could actually do it. So it had to specifically be Trigodia, but I ended up losing that game. But
that's got to be a weird matchup. Nobody. It was weird anyway. So.
I can't say that I've spent a lot of time playtesting against X Sabers for sure.
That's good.
But played against a few other people, and yeah, YCS Johnson. It was a whole vibe, man. I really enjoyed it. Music, food, drinks, everything. Lots of fun. So
dude,
that brings us
I took a half day at work. I wanted to get there sooner. Like I didn't want to leave.
I took a half day.
I was getting tired.
That brings us into Saturday, and so I played Twilight, the same list that I played at Timmy Max and got first a few weeks ago. I played that same list, changed like 2 cards in the side deck. So my expectations were very high, and I've learned that every time I give myself these expectations, I just don't perform. And when I have no expectations, that's when I like take it all. So Saturday, the pairings go up, and I look and I'm at like table 20. I'm like, great, because my whole thing is I don't care who I play, where I play them, but I do not want to play on the stream. First off, it's my stream, so I don't want people to think that I just wanted to put myself on there. Second of all, I hate being on the stream. I despise it. And then there was something wrong with the pairing, so they repair the round. Well, guess who gets put at table 1 on the stream?
Was it Mike Boyd?
It was. It was me. And I hate it. I hate playing on stream. So I'm playing against Noah, who we mentioned earlier is friends with AJT and Pro Storm. Super cool guy on Black Wings. And we're playing, and I win game 1. Game 2 is pretty back and forth. He beats me game 2. Game 3, also kind of the same, very back and forth. We get to a point to where really neither one of us have any cards. And he asked to check my graveyard. So I slide my graveyard over to him. And while I'm doing that, I'm looking at his graveyard because his graveyard is also fanned. And he picks it up, and I look down, and there's a card on the field face down. So we can't see what it is. Neither one of us know what it is. And I look at him, and I'm like, I'm pretty sure this came from the top. So we're both like, yeah. So I pick up the card, haven't looked at it, put it back on top of the deck. I think he just passes. I draw, and it's Caius. I'm like, well, great. I'm on no cards. Pass. He draws, and it's like Collude or something. Then I draw, and it's MST. He draws another beater, and he kills me. Then I checked the stream and people were like, oh, Lightsworn guy's cheating. He put a card from his graveyard on top of his deck. And I'm just like, what? And then I remembered, I was like, oh yeah, the Caius got banished from like Chaos Sorcerer early. So it was in the banished pile. So immediately, I'm like checking. My next 2 cards didn't matter. It was MST, which I already mentioned, and Solar Recharge with no Lightsworns in my hand. So it didn't change the outcome of the game. But I'm just like, first off, this is my stream. So why would I cheat on my own stream? That doesn't make any sense. On stream, why would I cheat? Number 2, there was a Judgment Dragon in my graveyard with 4 names. So if I was going to put a card from my graveyard on top of my deck, why would I pick Caius?
Oh, yeah, that's the best thing in a top deck war.
Yeah, just the best thing. Actually, you know what? I did cheat. I looked at my graveyard in that moment. I was like, what's the best card I could pick? It's obviously a Caius with no cards on hand, no cards on field, and I'm looking at getting beaten down by Blackwing. So, yeah. So, accidentally put that on top of my deck, but it doesn't matter. So, I lose to Noah. And then round 2, I play against our friend Chris, who is also on Diva Hero. And I just get destroyed, man. Like, I get destroyed, like, Dark Armed Return, like... You know how Diva Hero be. Like, when it sees those hands, you just can't do anything. I thought I was going to win game 1. I got him with, like, a really good DD Crow, which prevented him from Colossal Armory arming me. Ended up losing 2-0. And at that point, if I had played it out and won every single round, there might have been a small chance that I could have made it. But I didn't want that stress because... it would really suck to play all those next rounds, lose the last one, or play them all, win them all, and then still get like 13th. So I just dropped, said I'll just use the rest of today, support my friends, hang out, look at cards, whatever. That's what I did. So didn't really sweat it. I can't say I was pretty disappointed in myself, but ultimately, like at the end of the day, like round 1 against Noah, I think I just played way too aggressively. And I'm also going to be doing a replay analysis video on that match on the channel within the next couple of days where I can actually see where I went wrong with something. I haven't actually done that yet. So that will be coming up soon. And then round 2 against Diva Hero, I think I may have just gotten a little unlucky. So that basically concludes all of day 1. So I'm like, I'm going to take all of my energy, put it toward day 2. Day 2, I go in. I have no expectations for anything. I'm playing with Chris Lee and Michael Gammon's Mayberry. And round 1, we play against Sasha's team. So it's Sasha in the middle, Yi Ching on the right, and Adam on the left. Always enjoy playing against them. I actually played them round 1 at the last 3v3 we played at there. And I've learned that like Lightsworn and Vayu is just this really weird matchup to where like I can win if they don't see like Dark Armed in return. And if they see those cards, I actually just don't think that I can win at all. So we get to game 3 and I go first. And like my first like 6 mills were all the cards I sided in. Like both Kaikos, like Crows, no Lightsworn cards. And then Adam had like Dark Armed, Burial, Return. There was no winning. But thankfully Chris and Mayberry pulled out the win for us there. Then round 2, we play against Derek Hill's team, which is like him, Chur, and Jeremy Walker. End up beating my Vayu opponent, so I got like the Vayu redemption there, which was nice. Always a good feeling. And then I need to check and see who I actually played against round 3. I cannot remember for the life of me.
I remembered my other 2, just to fill in for a second. The other
go ahead.
2 teams we faced on the 3v3 were Cats on a Team Skill Issue, and he's like pretty popular in the Discord. So if you guys are in the Vayu Turbo or the Dragon Turbo channel, this guy is insane. He literally has the Millennium Eye. He saw me setting cards and he goes, that's funny that you're bluffing an Avarice. Oh, I wonder if you have a Trap Dust Shoot in hand that's dead. Like he just knew everything and it was insane. Yeah. And he was on Vayu with Secret Greffers, of course. So he beat the shit out of me. And the other team was Keaton, and I don't know the other 2 team members' names, but they were great guys. Really nice match. And there was a lot of back and forth. But what? Nice. Did you lose me?
For like just a second, but you're good now.
How about now?
Yeah, you're good.
I was just filling in. So did you find your next round?
Yeah. So round 3 was against an all Gladiator Beast team. This was Josh, Crank, and Chase. So like I see their name and I'm like, oh man, like not only is this not a good matchup for me, it's two of the best Glad Beast players coaching another Glad Beast player. So, like, it's not a... I think the matchup for Vayu is better than the matchup for Lightsworn. So I'm playing against Chase. And randomly, DD Crow put in a lot of work there. I don't know if he was kind of putting me on, like, you better have it kind of situation, or if he was just kind of forced to, like, you know, leave Bestie out there. But I ended up getting to Crow Bestie both games, which I think really took a lot of pressure off, because now I'm like, okay, well, there's no risk of Gazaras anymore. End up closing that one out with JD and Dark Arm, which was nice. So that made me feel really good to beat one of like the 2 or 3 best GB players. And I was like, I just need one of the other two, Chris or Mayberry, to close theirs out. And I can't remember which one of them won, but obviously we win that one. Then round 4, we play against Frog Slicer's team, which this team was unhinged. So like one guy's playing Black Wings, Frog Slicer's playing Ancient Gear, Dinosaur, Assault mode in the middle. And then their third teammate is my friend Ivan, who also plays Lightsworn. And Ivan was playing Christiasworn, siding into Twilight. So it was a crazy idea that he had. And game 1, I get to dust shoot him. I know his hand's pretty slow. And I just play really bad. That's just all that there is to it. I think that I was maybe talking too much or just a little too distracted. And I completely just missed a line to summon JD. I attacked him with a Caius and left him at 2200. And he had Brain Control Honest in hand, which kills me with the damage that he had done earlier. And I was like, what the heck, man? Like, I literally forgot how to summon Judgment Dragon. What is wrong with me? Then game 2, I beat him. Then game 3, I just opened up really, really slow. And you don't want to be the guy opening slow in a Lightsworn mirror. So he got me. Always enjoy playing against Ivan. Super cool guy. But then, obviously, I had my boys, Chris and Mayberry. They brought it. Then round 5 was against Team Rod, and I played against Hydro Pump, which is actually the first time we've ever played. Out of all these tournaments we've been to, all this time, we've never played a single time.
Huh.
And he was on Dragon Turbo, and that matchup for Lightsworn, and I would actually even argue that matchup for Christiasworn is not great, because Lightsworn needs time to set up, and Dragon Turbo doesn't give you that time. So we actually drew past for like a couple turns. But my hand was like strictly reactive cards that I couldn't do anything with. So like naturally I opened up Heavy Storm, you know, like Heavy Storm, Brain Control. I think there was a wolf in there, so I can't do anything. And finally he gets going and he just like starts slamming cards. I live because I have a Tragodia with so many dead cards in my hand because I couldn't do anything. He ends up bouncing the Trag back to my hand with his Brio. I like Brain Con the Brio, bounce some stuff, bounce back a Darkness Metal, crash Brio into the other Darkness Metal, kill itself, drop Trag, attack over the other Darkness Metal. And it was basically just me saying, like, I hope you don't have a dragon to normal summon, which is, like, completely, like, illogical that would happen. But I had to give myself the best shot at, like, getting more turns. But he did have a dragon to summon, which is just part of it. Then game 2, I went first. I did open up Oppression, but he got to either Heavy or True Nade, one or the other. And he got rid of it, and then he killed me. So that's the nature of that matchup. Even Christiasworn, like, you're not going to put out a turn 1 Christia. Like, maybe, like, 5 out of 100 games you can actually turn 1 Christia. So it's just kind of a bad matchup. Then we go into Top Cut, round 6, play against Gladiator Beast again. And I'm just like, what the heck, man? Like, the GB Gauntlet today. I'm like, well, I already beat one of the best Gladiator Beast players. So, like, this one should be like a cakewalk, you know? I play against a guy, his name's Jeff. He's obviously on Glads. And we have a really good, like, back and forth game 1. He was really good, actually. Really good player. And he ends up killing a Sangan with Laquari. And I'm like, man, like, what the heck do I get here? Like, he has Laquari and, like, some number of back row. And I'm like, oh, yeah, I play Gale. So I get Gale. And then normal Gale, Brain Control is Laquari, and make Black Rose. And I was like, I cannot believe that actually resolved into that many sets. So that was cool. Then game 2, I actually won with 1 card in deck that I had stacked off of Plague Spreader, and I felt like I had unlocked my third eye at this time, because, like, I, like, made a Brio, like, pitched a card, bounced my own Lila, pitched that Lila, bounced his back row, Brain Controlled Ready Ari, and it was like 8,200 all in one swing. So that was pretty cool. I don't know. It's so weird for me to 2-0 two GB players with Twilight. I was talking to ProStorm about it, and he felt as if Twilight was the weakest into GBs, and I was like, man, I really don't know if I'm just getting lucky, but I've had so much less of a problem with GB since I switched to Twilight than I did on pure Christius Warren, even if that's like illogical. But I definitely want to test that matchup more, because I do feel like cards like Gale, Brain Control, stuff like that make the deck a lot more multi-dimensional, where you actually can combat that more. And you just have like a lot better like bomb cards that you're not like, if they just Ready Ari loop you off of 4 names, like you never get to drop your win con, but it's hard for them to keep you off of Judgment Dragon, Chaos Sorcerer, and Dark Armed, while also not playing into Crow with Bestiari. So then we get to the finals, which is a rematch against Team Rod, and we just decided just to split. We rolled for the champion playmats, and then they won the dice roll. But I felt like, so I would have gotten a rematch against Hydro Pump, and that matchup I would just have to open Broken, and he'd just have to brick, and that's just the nature of how that would have went. So it really would have been 2v2, honestly. But yeah, I'm just very thankful that I got to run it back on Sunday. Get the W, I guess technically. I mean, we did go undefeated the whole day, so that felt good, just because of the standard that I'd held myself to on Saturday just not really coming to fruition. But just need more practice, need to focus more, and keep trying out new things. And I feel like,
don't forget to summon JD.
Don't forget to summon JD. I also will say that
you did it to me on Friday.
I had so much brain fog this weekend. I don't know if it was from going to bed late, which I normally don't do, or traveling, but I just kind of felt like a haze in my head that I don't normally feel, which really like conflicted with like my thoughts. I didn't have clear thoughts, so definitely not an excuse. I'm still very hungry. And I'm not going to win an Ultimate Time Wizard playing like that. That's for sure. So just want to keep getting better, keep playing more, trying to improve focus, and just looking forward. But, it was nice. Looking back on it, it was a great weekend. I really had a good time. And yeah, it's always fun just to get out and go travel with the boys,
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah. Even if I'm losing like the early rounds, I'm going to play every single round of Swiss just because I love playing the game. Like, I don't care how I'm doing. I just want to keep playing.
Yeah.
Even going back to the hotel, we get back to the hotel at like midnight, and we sit down, everybody's exhausted, and I'm like, does anybody want to play a game of GOAT before we go to bed? I just want to play the game. I just love it.
I was sick of the game on Saturday. Not really, actually. I was like, man, I haven't went 0-2 in forever. Other than that one time I thought it was a good idea to play Hero Beat. That deck sucks. The deck can kick rocks. The deck is so bad. But yeah, with Lightsworn, I haven't went 0-2 drop in so long. But unfortunately it had to happen there. But that just, like I said, I just need more practice. So we'll get there. I have
it's a newer deck
doubts.
Too.
What's that?
Twilight Sworn, it's like a newer deck too, so I'm sure there's still innovation to happen with it.
There is, yeah. I may have already previously said this, but it's something I've been saying lately, is when we look back on Edison format in however many years, when it's completely solved, I think that Twilight will be the Lightsworn deck that was like the best overall, just because of the layers that it has. So, well, anything anybody else wants to add about this weekend?
It was just really fun overall. I mean, obviously, I wish we could have done better, but I mean, hey, it was still fun. Getting to do this again, because I know as we get older, we're not gonna be able to do this often. But it's always, like I said, it's always fun to get out and just have fun with the guys.
Yeah, I had been looking forward to this too a long time, and it definitely exceeded my expectations. But it was just the weekend of the year for sure. I can't wait until the next time we get to do it.
Yeah, Edison players are honestly like such a vibe compared to like a lot of players I've played with in the past. So like you paint a picture of these people in your mind from like just the way they carry themselves in Discord, But then like when you meet them, they're like so different, you know? Like I kind of expected Pro Storm to just be someone that didn't really talk much, you know, kind of kept to himself. That guy was like so introverted, dude, like just talking to people, you know, same with AJT, because I'd never met them. Super, super cool people for sure. One of the highlights of the weekend, getting to meet those guys. And, you know, I'm like, oh, so this is who I've been, you know, talking to online and stuff like that. So that was really cool. And it's always nice when players that are so accomplished also like want to just see the community like flourish and get better. Like they're not just in it only for themselves.
Oh yeah, that was definitely another highlight. I just love meeting the people that I see and like idolize on Discord. Like they're like the best players, and I get to meet them. Like I met Frog Slicer, got him to sign one of my extra deck cards. Pro Storm signed my Heavy Storm, of course.
Yeah, I wanted to get mine signed by him too. I just kept forgetting the whole weekend.
No.
I also wanted to ask him, how often does Pro Storm do the Pro Storm?
Oh, we should have asked him. Missed opportunity. Huge missed opportunity.
I know I did the Pro Storm a few times over the weekend.
I don't think I've ever Pro Stormed somebody. I'm always too afraid they'll like MST my Heavy, then set 5, and I'm just going to look like a major dumbass on the other side of the table. Like this will be a good way to close this out. When is the correct time to Pro Heavy, or is it ever correct?
It's definitely correct sometimes, but I do it in GOAT a lot. I'm like, go ahead, set some stuff. Look at all I have is one set, and boom, you wipe them out so many times. Like,
yeah,
it almost always gets a +1 for me, but that's just GOAT. I don't do it too much in Edison because I usually play more real back row, and I don't want that to get I don't want it to destroy me by having my Heavy gone.
Yeah, it's fair enough. Okay, well, getting pretty close to the hour mark here. So any closing remarks from anyone? Everyone good?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, you know, it's always fun. You know, I always look forward to these.
Yeah,
for sure. Just a great weekend.
It was a great weekend.
All right, guys. Well, I guess we're going to get out of here. We do take listener letters and fan mail. You'll find the email address in the video description. It's the EdisonClubFanmail@gmail.com. Send us some listener letters. We really enjoy reading those off, giving you guys advice, hearing your feedback, everything like that. So without further ado, guys, this is Mike, Cole, Ty, and Nick from the Edison Club signing out until the next one.
Hamster Ryko Caius. I go check the pairings, I'm like, don't know who this guy is. Hamster Ryko Caius, Hamster Ryko Caius. 2-0 every round, man, and I ain't even trying. It's just Hamster Ryko Caius, Hamster Ryko Caius.